Welcome to Strictly Speaking. I'm Bimbo Oyeledun. I'm pleased to be having a chat today with a man of many parts, Reverend Bola Oyeledun. Welcome to Strictly Speaking.
Thank you very much.
You've been a media consultant, an advertising consultant, a broadcaster, and of course, you are a reverend gentleman.
Yeah.
Now, considering that you have been a professional talker for virtually all of your adult life, I wonder, when you listen to clergymen addressing congregations, what goes through your mind?
The larger percentage of clergymen don't know how to speak. They don't know that they are supposed to be building bridges with the audience, with the congregation. They don't know that preaching is a communication tool that involves quite a lot of things: projection, elocution, diction, so many things. So they need to up the ante, to improve their game and make sure that they really are in the pulpit, which is above the pews.
When you talk about the pulpit, I immediately think about the message. I imagine a situation where a clergyman says, or is supposed to say, "The Lord is my shepherd." But instead he says something like, "The Lord is my shepherd," which means in effect that he has changed the meaning of that, just that one line of scripture.
Well, let me say that he may be personalizing it if he says, "The Lord is my shepherd." And what he wants you also to personalize it and say, "The Lord is your shepherd, my shepherd." Sometimes I go and say, "The Lord is Bola Oyeledun's shepherd." You know, I go that much.
Okay,
but,
fine.
You know, I sit down in the pews, or I'm inside the chancel, and I hear people say things as ridiculous as shepherd, you know, and things like that, you know, because they did not learn how to speak from listening. They were not trained to speak. And when you're talking about using the right tools to communicate the message is a responsibility. You've got that very right. There's no two ways about it. But you say the message is interpretation by the Spirit. Now, the difficulty there is that many people will tell you that it's the message that is important, it's not how you say it. And I have often told them, Dame Patience Jonathan had a message to pass on to us. Did we get her message? No, we laughed at her because she was not communicating properly. So, in the same manner, the people in the pews could just be laughing at you. And so you are not fulfilling that responsibility of carrying that message home. You know, there's a gap, there's a gulf.
Now, that same message is being passed across to our children every Sunday via Sunday school. You find a situation where regular teachers are blamed sometimes for bad speech habits that children pick up. But every Sunday, havoc is being wreaked on the English language by these volunteers. And, well, anyway, you're in a better position, actually, to say something about it. But it worries me.
That one is even, you put it very mildly. When you see your megad, you see your tailor, you see your carpenter, they almost automatically they try to communicate with these children in English, whether they understand the language or not. Then there's cable television giving our children some examples to follow. So you now come and do your Igilango guess. You know, you hit it wrong, and they won't listen to you, and they won't copy you. They just mock you all the time. So where are we? We become the laughing stock instead of raising the bar and raising the standards.
But there must be a way out. Church organizations, for instance, many have schools. So why is it then that these volunteers can't be trained? Mind you, I don't know whether speech is part of your training as a clergyman, but surely church organizations have a responsibility.
Yes, church organizations have a duty to train, but that is a continuous thing. It's not just in the schools. Even on the job, you must be able to identify the needs. It's a needs assessment, and it is there, and it is glaring. So you need to get onto it and get people who are knowledgeable. But then again, who are the people who are going to impart this knowledge? As I usually say, there's a proliferation of churches, there's a proliferation of schools, there's a proliferation of broadcast organizations, a proliferation of everything. So when you have this proliferation, the thing gets watered down. There is no purity. There's no sanctity.
You mean the message gets watered down, or their
Both
ability to deliver?
The message, the ability to deliver especially. So that the inability to deliver creates that gap. Even you look at the universities, how many lecturers do you have? People want more universities, but how many people are there who know how to lecture, who have what to impart? So the same thing with speech. We need to go back to our laboratories. We need to get the people, and then we also need to look for passion, the passion to want to improve the delivery of the word.
Yes, because you see, I was going to come to that. It's all very well for us to say that people need to improve. But the people that we're talking about, number one, do they know that they need to improve? And number two, are they willing to improve?
I think there must be carrot and stick. Some people will not be promoted or will not be enabled to handle some certain services or work in some certain areas if they do not possess the ability to communicate in a certain manner. So that's an incentive for them to want to improve themselves because they aspire to want to go to those places. That's one. Two, in teaching, I have come across people who say to me, I'm an Ekiti man. When I want to talk, they must know that I'm from Ekiti. Or they tell me that, I'll be a Igbo man. If there's no way that an Igbo man will speak that you don't know that is an Igbo man. Or you hear it from the Hausa man too. Listen to BBC. Even now, listen to CNN. You have a Yoruba man, you have a Hausa man, you have a Igbo man, you have Japanese, you have Indian, you have German. They don't sound like those nationals when they are reading. They have, they have been able to vault those obstacles and then they deliver in an acceptable manner all around.
Well, Reverend Oyeledun, I really must thank you for sharing your thoughts. I know that you came from your base outside of Lagos today, so I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for coming on Strictly Speaking.
My pleasure.